Hi everyone. I want to mention today battles in life that are worth fighting and battles that are not worth fighting. Um, Sometimes in life we can get bullied, we can get treated badly, and whether we fight back or not depends on if it's a once-off incident. It's usually not worth fighting. Let the person off. Like if you're driving in a car and someone cuts in front of you just let it go. Send them love. Then there are bigger battles that where there's injustices to more than just yourself and your family, say, to many people involved. And those ones are usually worth fighting because it's not something petty, it's something really important that's been at stake. And sometimes someone is put into that position of being wrapped up in the situation because they have the strength to fight it. The caution is about fighting battles. First of all, you have to choose which battles you want to fight. And as I said, the little ones, just let them go. But if something is really affecting a lot of people, then that's something that may have to be brought up to the light. The caution is when you're fighting injustice, darkness, it's really, really important not to go into the darkness with the people who are perpetrating the wrong. You have to rise above that, and when someone is attacking you, you attack back. That doesn't achieve anything. Someone is shouting at you, you shout back. Again, it doesn't achieve anything because the energy is tit for tat, and it just doesn't make progress. So you have to rise above it, and not get caught up in the harm that's been done, the hurt. You just have to say, right, well, how are we going to make progress there? How are we going to move forward and resolve this situation for the good of all? And that takes immense patience and strength of character. Because I can give the example of politics. We can see in parliaments and around the world, there's a group of people who are in power at a certain time. Then there's the opposition. And the opposition are shouting at the people in power. The people in power are shouting at the people in opposition. So they get embroiled in these tit-for-tat rows, which absolutely achieve nothing. The better option would be to have a spirit of cooperation and say, let's sit down and talk this out and figure out what's the best thing for the people we're representing. Not get into this mudslinging at each other. It also happens in courtrooms. People get into mudslinging. It's when someone hurts someone else and they hurt back. Spiritually, it just isn't good because it's staying. The energy is not progressing. The energy is, I'm going to throw a ball of fire at you, and you're going to throw a ball of fire back at me. So sometimes you may even need mediators, people who are outside of the situation, to come in and act as go-betweens, to keep the emotions out of it, the negative emotions, and just keep saying, well, how are we going to make progress there? How are we going to move forward from this? How are we going to right or wrong, So my advice is, first of all, is the battle worth fighting? Is it something major? Because if it is, I think it's worth going forward. But the caution, as always, has to be, don't get embroiled in tit for tat. Just keep a cool head and look at the bigger picture. because the bigger picture is it involved many people. Then you've got to think of everyone involved. What's the best thing for everyone, so that everyone can be happy, and so that the darkness is brought to the light, and then the light is love. What's the loving way forward? I see with this the events of the Epstein files with the paedophilia rings. Unfortunately, that's getting caught up in little details of who's been friends with that man. Again, that's not getting to the core issue. The core issue is that people have committed crimes, and they need to be brought forward for they need to be made accountable for the crimes that they've committed. So it's not about who's who, it's about people being brought to justice, so that moving forward there's consequences for that kind of horrendous behaviour in our societies. So they have to get rid of the smoke screens and look at the reality of and not get bogged down in details, because going forward, really, these societies have to change. We're living in a world where there's a religion where little girls as young as 6 can be sold into marriage. So that's paedophilia. So you see, if we have that acceptable in our societies, then there are going to be people in our societies who think it's acceptable to commit crimes against little girls. So, as I said, there's a bigger picture going on there that we have to look at, really do, and examine it and say, what's going to be done to bring these people to justice? It's about actions, not about talking. It's about walking the walk. So I hope that that this video will help anyone that needs to hear it. And thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.